Hi, everybody. My name is Splattercat, and we're here at the Nerd Castle for another episode of Decavir's Craft the World. If you've been interested in the game thus far and wanted to play it, look down below. I have a download link for you through Steam. Now, in the previous episode, we continued to work our way down the crafting tree. We had fended off a really big invasion. We came out on top. We had gotten some longbows because people were grumpy up on the forums about it. They were like, dwarfforum.net was like, oh, you should build us some longbows. We can't shoot the enemy from a long ways away because we're short-sighted and also we don't have the right toolkit. So I went ahead and I built them longbows, so those should be about ready to go at this point. In our crafting tree, we want to go ahead and build ourselves a lantern? Really? Okay, well, I don't have any glass, so we need to make that happen. Let's pop that into place. We'll take some coal, possibly, and then we shall superheat it until we have lots and lots of glass. Essentially superheating something. It is what it sounds like, but I was going to try and make a joke about superheroes, but whatever. It's basically what happens when Superman uses the microwave. But there it is. There's the joke. There is your opening joke for the episode. Now then, we've got ourselves glass. Jesus. I don't know what I'm doing sometimes. Sometimes it just pops out. It does. It really, really does. Like an unwelcome biscuit. Let's see here. Need to put some glass in this thing as well, otherwise it wouldn't be a very good lantern. And they're going to craft us 2 of each for each one that we build. I don't know if that goes in the background or in the foreground, but we'll find out soon enough, I suppose. They're going to kill that chicken that's running around our house. He's not welcome here. This is not the place for chicken kind. And down it. Did his head just fly off when we hit him? No, it's still attached to his body. Okay, that could have been a lot worse for him than it went, but... You were getting juked, man. You are sincerely getting juked. That ghost is making you look foolish. I feel like we're going to have something to talk about around the dinner table tonight. Let's take a look back down, and who's getting started on those lanterns? Is it you? Are you the guy? You are indeed the guy. So, as soon as they cart those back up to the stockpile, let's see what's going on the top end of this crafting tree. We've got the silver sword. We've got whatever that is. It looks like it's a rug that you hang up on the wall, but whoever puts a rug on their wall clearly has forgotten what a rug is for, I suppose. Oh, we built that already. That's nice. I'm glad when I already have things pre-built. I think this looks like let's remove the wagon, and then we'll also remove the rails. And once we remove all the rails, we'll put the fountain right there so that it's in the middle of our nice little relaxation area. Maybe we'll put a bench or something next to it too so that people can sit and have fun by the fountain. Throw some coins into it possibly. We are running a little bit low, so if anybody wants to donate to those coins, it would be nice because then we could buy some more mithril armor. I'm going to remove those rails there. We'll remove the lighting stand, and we'll get rid of the water in just a second too. Now then, where are my lanterns? There's one. Let's find a place for those on our little toolbar. And we'll put a lantern there and a lantern over here too. It seems like they take a while to craft. I don't know if they're going to give me a better forging station soon. A forging station soon? A new forging station soon. Oh my god, tongue twisters lately are just getting me. I don't know what it is. It's just been the last couple days, I think. It's just pure exhaustion at this point. That's what I would guess. It's the entire, like, let's not sleep but still go to college and also make videos. I think that's probably what's doing it if I had to point a finger, a decrepit, tired finger at something. But in any case, I'll finish the tongue twister eventually and we'll move forward into the rest of the episode. Our lanterns have been placed. Looking at our crafting tree, what comes up next? We've got a Tesla tower. That sounds badass as hell. First things first, though, what is that? A round stained glass. I don't want my glass stained. I prefer it pristine. But before we get there, oh, we need to make some silver ingots. Let's do that since we're clearly out. And I guess we'll just make all those up. We don't really have a whole lot left to play with at the moment. Let's have a look around and see if we can't find some silver. I think that's it right there. Let me get these blocks, and that's silver ore. Okay. So let's mine that out possibly. We'll replace the silver ore. And I'm going to take a look around the rest of the map. And we're going to occupy ourselves with some silver mining in between here and the remainder of the episode because I feel like that's the one thing we're truly lacking. We have none of that stuff anywhere around. We have lots of gold, we have lots of precious minerals, except for silver. So, one of those things that we're going to have to hop right on like a flying floaty dragon. Because all of the dragons in my world are completely and totally rideable. Now then, we'll put that in right there, and I think they'll be able to stand on top of these little snapping bushes. I don't remember those being animated before, but now they look grumpy, and also like they might snap at your toes while you're out and about doing your business, so I suppose we'll have to invest ourselves in some better... Well, I don't know. I don't even know what a foot doctor is called. It's probably like a ped something. But what I was going to say is we need to basically upgrade our healthcare plan for our dwarves so that if they get their feet bitten off by anything sinister, they can go to the doctor and get it handled. I'm all about keeping my workers nice and healthy so that they can dig more silver. If they're not working, they're definitely shirking, and so they need a way to earn that jerkin? I was trying to make another rhyme, but, you know, I can't do it all the time. I work on it, though. I really do try. I make my best effort in that case. Now then, we've got some more ladders going down that way, but I don't see anything in this vicinity that really, in my head, equates out to, like, I should dig in that. Actually, no, never mind. There it is right there. So let's dig out this way. Once we've dug out that far, maybe drop a shaft right there. Cool. And he's gonna kill that zombie off. It's just been sitting there. It's been out of the sunlight, so he's not all wrinkly and weird and raisin-like, which is what they do when they're up in the sun. Frankly, they look delicious, but nobody's gotten the balls up yet to pop one in their mouth. But they do look kind of delicious. I love raisins, so if I see anything like raisining up, I'm just like, well, that's probably going to get consumed. And that is why I can no longer go to the grocery store. Or the old folks' home. God. Gross. Now then, let's get ladders back down here. And we'll start dropping some ladders in this vicinity. What are you guys doing right now? I don't see any digging happening, so I have to assume you're working on something else. Dig out my floor. Gather my sand. I command it for the Emperor. Alright, so down that goes. We'll start putting in some more ladders just to make this whole thing contiguous. And now that it's all connected and we can get to the localities we need to get to, we will iron all that out. We'll kill that plant right there, even though it's clearly alive. Hopefully it's not sentient, otherwise I'll feel a little bit guilty. Then again, it's a plant, so smack it between the eyes. It's also trying to bite us. Anything that tries to bite me, its life may automatically be forfeit. I try to be a nice guy about the biting. I really, really do, but there are specific contexts in which biting is okay, and then all the other contexts, not okay. Now then, we've got a pot down here, a crock. You'll have to forgive me, my receptacle terminology was ill-advised, I suppose. We'll continue to dig out all of that crock, and then over here we'll dig out this way. What I need to do is that right there, so we'll put in a scaffold. They'll dig that out, and they'll go all the way down here, making an extra shaft. We'll put in one of the torches right there. We need to torch this area, obviously. It looks like we've got another silver vein over there, so let's get at it. We'll start digging this out above our heads, I guess, since I'm really sort of out of options with regards to that mining operation. Over here, we'll get that. There's a big old gold vein down here, so let's continue digging downwards. I'm not going to dig down too aggressively because I don't want a bunch of people to fall in on him. What I may instead try and do, how does that work? Does it go through walls? It does indeed. So what I may try and do, I don't know what the safe way to do that's going to be. We're going to have like hard hat on, like hard hat equal on right now for this. Because if I pop that out, the guy's going to fall in by himself and obviously get eaten up, and I need everybody down there to fight him. We might think about flagging him with a portal next to him, actually. So let's try that first. That might work a little bit better. We're under attack some... Oh, there's a goblin invasion. Okay. So they busted through the door right there, and they're running off with all of our supplies. So before we deal with any further combat, it appears as though they're chasing them all down, too. This guy is not content with allowing them to run off with his amazing stash of 70s dwarf porn. And believe me, it's just as furry as you might expect. It's like 8 times the fur that is necessary. I mean, you see it and you're just like, wow, this really just feels like it's a bit of an embellishment. At this point, it sincerely just feels like we're going over the top for the interest of just gathering ourselves some key clicks or something. There we go. Now we can mine that out, and then we'll put in ladders. And once we've handled that, we'll probably fill this in and we'll get going on this entire little gold mine right here. That's really a lot of gold to be mined. So if we can get our hands on that oro, I think we'll be alright. Now then. And that's a Spanish pun because it's but it's also gold, so it's oro. I think that was the word for gold in Spanish. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I had to speak Spanish last. That's the thing, is like I grew up in an area where everybody spoke Spanish, and then you move away for like 4.5 years to college to an area where nobody speaks Spanish. You never use it like ever again, and you just kind of, it dwindles. It shrivels away. It shrivels away. And it's embarrassing too because it's a useful skill to have. So I'll have to get back on that once I move back home after this entire college debacle. After this whole debacle with educating myself has run itself aground, I suppose. Now then, let's wipe out the remainder of that gold. And we're gonna have a lot of trucking to do, so I'm gonna jump into my crafting menu and I'm gonna help speed this along by using a magic spell. A wondrous magic spell. There it is right there. And we'll place it at the bottom floor, obviously, because they've got some mining to do. Now, I don't know if they actually have roof access. I don't think they do, so we may be caught up in a situation where... Ooh, that's going to be a really long drop. That's weak. That's weak and whack. And it needs to cut me some slack. They're having to walk all the way up the long way, which is not so miserable. The map seems a lot smaller than it used to be. I'll leave it right there. Back in the day when we first started this series, I always felt like the map was really, really small, but now that I'm having to mine my way through it, the entire map actually feels quite grandiose in scale. Trying to keep track of all my different mining operations is becoming mentally draining. Now then, hopefully none of my dwarves fall down into the chasm there. There we go. Now that the elevator's back up, we'll be a little bit safer. He's getting pretty beat up, and now he's also been inflicted with a serious case of dead. So I suppose now that my entire attack force has found itself moribund... How did they beat us? These guys are weenies. Oh good, my carefully summoned imps are coming out to grab their loot. Well, anything that saves us time, I guess. Gentlemen, join the battle. They have slain your kin... You guys are acting a mega fool right now. Like, seriously, you guys are going just balls out on stupid at the moment. Okay, so it appears as though we're done with that horrible battle. God, hopefully we get some good loot, though. That's the plus side to being engaged in those sorts of fights, is eventually you get some nice loot. Let's get that out of the way. We'll also kill off that right there. And in the previous episode, you'll recall that we had run out of sleep spaces. And so right now, I need to put in some beds so that we can sleep a little bit better. I'm going to go for luxury beds, simply because I feel like those are going to get our job done a little bit quicker. And time is one of those things that I feel like we never have enough of in this game. And so if I can keep people in bed sleeping for less amounts of time, that gives them more time to work. So we've got kind of this weird dystopian society where we're optimizing your bed simply so that you'll work more. But it's okay, the dwarves don't know any better. They're just sort of ignorant to the entire situation. I hide the books from them. None of them are literate, so as long as they can't get any book learning, they can't ever rebel. You gotta keep the knowledge away from your lesser dwarves. I'm gonna go and, as soon as these are crafted anyways, I guess I'll just put them down here in my menu so that I can keep an eye on them for when they get done. How is our food table looking? It's looking alright. It's not looking incredible, but at the same time, we have two guys out here who are now crafting beds. I should probably give somebody a magic scepter. You guys said that I was able to do that, and I really should. We gave somebody magic powers in here, who's kind of our Harry Potter of everybody, so hopefully he doesn't go off on any ridiculous adventures or bringing any ghosts or spirits or anything of that nature on into our homeland. But at the same time, this Tesla coil is kind of expensive. I guess we need quartz for it. We also need some gold because we need a conductor, and then we'll put glass in it. It doesn't want to double click right there, so I'm going to go ahead and do it the old way. With the silver ore, we don't have a lot of it, but I am willing to test out this Tesla coil. Like, I really do want to see what it does. And so I may think about plopping it out here somewhere where it'll be useful. I had thought about filling in this lake. That is going to make my life a little bit more difficult when it comes to getting water, but then again, I suppose I could replace it by mining out all of this right here. This will become the new reservoir. We can fill this in with sort of a stone runway, I guess, to our base. Once we fill it in with a stone runway, what we can do after that is fill it with defenses and lots of fun things that annihilate our foes and cause them to burst into flames of the hottest fashion. Our beds are now almost done. And so yeah, it's saying that it's not inside of a shelter, but we're doing our best. We're trying to get it to work. So down goes the first bed. Let me see if I can find the totem up here. My menu, but I think the totem is one of those things you can only deploy at certain times. So the other option is we may be caught up. I'm going to try something a little bit, I'm not going to say creative because I don't think it's that creative, but I think it is working sort of inside the confines of the system they've devised. I'm going to put in a hatch right here, as I had mentioned previously. That door is doing weird things again. Door, stop doing strange things. I'm going to flip that around in just a minute. So the hatch is now down. And then what I want to do is kill off that guy right there. We're going to pop the door off. And I think this is going to work, where it'll extend the boundaries of this rest zone on in over to here so we can make use of it. If it doesn't work, then we're just going to have to wait until the game decides to bestow upon us another totem. Since I don't know how to craft them, I guess I could break one down and learn the recipe, but at the moment, whatever. It's definitely looking like one of those whateversies type things. Let's remove the door and see if it works first before we start making any drastic plans. Now then, we're not due for another invasion for a while. We do have the Tesla coil. Let's go ahead and gather up all of this water. We're gonna have to dig this out. We're also gonna gather the water, so we're gonna deplete this as quickly as we can. And there it is. That didn't take nearly as long as I expected, but we do have a lot of buckets in our population, so we should be okay. With that door down, let's see what it's doing with the sparkles of magic here. I need to put a hatch in right there so that it no longer sees this whole sparkly area as being part of our base. And I think it should reappropriate the area. All of this down here that it's using up, because there's no hatch, it should shift this way, kind of like an amorphous blob. And then it'll work in our favor, hopefully. Oh no, I may have to put in another one over here. It's still not gonna make it. It's just not enough space. I really strongly dislike the totem system. I think we should just be able to deploy stuff wherever and use a designation system. I'm gonna try and move the totem more towards the center and see if that gains me a little bit of room. I think it may be better served over here. And then it may catch two of these beds if I shift it over slightly. I really don't like having to jimmy rig a situation like this, but unfortunately I'm not seeing any other options. I guess my house is a little bit poorly constructed. It's not optimized by any sense of the word, but I'm trying to make do with the fact that they've only given me a couple of totems. Our worst possibility is I turn this into our common room. I take all this stuff up here and put it down here, and then I shift this into a longhouse sleeping area with a totem in it, but that's something I'd prefer not to do if I can help it. It just seems a little bit janky to me. Let's go ahead and get rid of all this water. I don't think we're going to need any for a while anyways. Good, and that's looking okay. Let's find ourselves some cobblestone now, or some stone walls. I'm going to craft some more though, just in case. So we'll take the stone, we'll take a little bit of water, and then a little bit of sand, and just a pinch of love and magic, because every stone wall has at least a little bit of love in it. Stonemasons, lovable people. Now then, we'll place that right there, and once we've got that entire back section in, we'll place the runway to our base. I wish there was steps that I could put right here to make it look a little bit more regal, but unfortunately we don't have that. So you gotta make do with what you have. I'm sure stone steps will show up somewhere during the course of our playthrough. In our crafting tree, I just realized we haven't researched like bung today. We haven't, the extent to which we have researched anything is pretty much bunghole. We have one totem remaining. I'm gonna try and place that in a more advantageous spot. Maybe like right there. Oh, really? It's using this one now. Well, that does raise a unique case. Interesting. So that does raise an intellectual glass to think about. Well, we'll put it back over in here then, since it's maintained its own little circly area simply based on the fact that this totem's in place. I guess we'll make do with what the game's going to allow us, and we'll just get these 3 beds signed in right as rapidly as rain. Now, we've got to equip some dwarves because we had some casualties on the backfield. Santa suits and yatagons. Let's pass the yatagons down the chain to the people that survived because they deserve it. They are worth it to me. And then everybody else is completely and totally unequipped right now. Let's give him some armor. We'll give him one of the leftover helmets. He had a little bit of he had a case of the crazy eye, I think. We'll give him one of these steel picks, or is that a silver pick? I think that's a silver pick. Okay, well, whatever. In any sense, no matter what he's picking with, we'll go ahead and go like that, and since he's going to be a frontline fighter, what kind of weaponry do we have left over? I guess I'll give him one of the normal swords. With you, we'll give you a bit of silver. We'll also give you one of the leather hats. And since you're going to be not in frontline combat, I suppose we'll turn you into an archer. So there's a longbow. How many longbows did I make? I feel like I overpopulated the longbowmen's Oh well, what's this? A cookbook. Where's my cook at? There's one. Let's go ahead and upgrade his cooking. We've also got a mage book with this archer over here. I think I'm going to turn him into a mage, maybe. There we go. We'll give him some magery, some magical powers so that people will want to burn him at the stake. No. Place the front stone. I demand it. Now then, back to our crafting menu to see what's new in here. We've got that round stained glass window. We'll get that popped into place. I get the distinct feeling that once I want to see everything there is to see before we finish the series, which is kind of the difficult part about this. I'm only going to be playing this level, just so you guys know, so that there's no disenfranchisement and gnashing of teeth once it finally happens and I break off the series. I'm only planning on playing this one level. So once this is done, that's pretty much going to be it for this. I was going to jump into a new game as soon as we finish this. But I would like to see as many of the little content bits as we can before we go anywhere else. So we'll take it for now. He's now attempting to bow down to his... Please don't trap him in there. Like, really? Gather the water. Sometimes. These dwarves just... I like how they're giving like a dwarfish bro fist right there. They're like, yeah, just bam, slap it together. Just making sure that we're surrounded by a nice feeling of dwarfy, beardy brotherhood. We'll place those walls where they go. And obviously I'm going to have to convert all these into normal walls, unfortunately. And so the bro fist is dispersed in a manner befitting, with little fanfare, unfortunately, because I don't have fireworks or anything else that we could throw into the sky. I have funfetti. That's all that we have remaining here. We have a little bit of funfetti, and I wanted to save that for something a little bit more like festive, like Cinco de Mayo or something. I don't know if dwarves celebrate that, but they should. It's a great holiday to get drunk. I really think that that's in the US. I mean, so for the Cinco de Mayo, it's a celebration of kind of the equivalence of Independence Day down in Mexico, although it's a little bit different. I'm not going to get into specifics. It is different, like the circumstance is different, but in any case, I think we just celebrate it in the States just to get drunk. I really do. It's one of those things, it's a national holiday for another country, and so we just celebrate it so that we can have a nice day to like get super wasted out on the lake or something. You are just... What are you doing? Get out of there. Stop that right now. I hate it when your dwarves just stand around after they finish a job. And this rain is unfortunately going to fill in that hole, which is going to fill me with a deep, deep sadness and longing for a day when water didn't fill up my holes. Which sounded a little bit more dirty than it was actually meant to sound, but you guys get what I meant. Whatever. God, water... It's really, really rainy right now. I don't know if the game functions on any type of system, but at the moment, the seasonal system of the game appears to just be pissing down rain on me at any given moment. It's very difficult to get any of this construction done. I may actually expand this out like so that the enemy is stuck in kind of a humorous situation where they have to like climb their way out of this over the backs of each other, World War Z style. Which was a film that I never got around to seeing. Brad Pitt didn't really sell me on it. I was like, well... I mean, it's not that I loathe Brad Pitt, it's just that... I don't know if I want to go to a theater and drop cash on it. They've got it at Redbox right now. I could get it for $1, so maybe that'll be worth it. You guys let me know what you thought. Was it any good? Was it worth seeing? Or is it one of those films that you go and you're just like, well, I regret every single moment of that purchase. On to my next expenditure. Entertainment bill, you are now depleted. I think I'm going to break the episode off here. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me in the Nerd Castle for another episode of Craft the World. It's a fantastic game by Decavir and really kind of one of my unexpected games of the season. This came out somewhere around December or November, and I was completely and totally taken back by the fact of how good the game actually was. It was one of those little things I picked up on a whim after watching somebody else play it. And I really thought it had the look of a Facebook game like Farmville or something. And then I watched someone else play it and I was like, this is really actually kind of a cool game that's got its own vibe going on. So I think I'm going to jump headlong in and do a let's play of it. And that's exactly what happened. I'll see you guys next time. Hi-do, everybody.